North Kanishie, all those places carrying ice packs, the vaccines, and you will check the vials and you check whether it is going bad or doing well. We'll have all the Rotarians come around. They'll be checking, asking us how we're doing, giving us some nice ice cream and some things. They're back again. Nana Yastrebo is the past chair of the Ghana National Polio Plus Committee, and then Dr. Raymond Dankoli for the WHO is a coordinator. Big men and big women in my studio. Good morning. How are you doing? Your microphone, please. Today is World Polio Day.
Yes.
What should it mean to the ordinary Ghanaian?
Two things. Today we are celebrating 66 years of Rotary in Ghana.
Wow.
And without that, we wouldn't be able to celebrate World Polio Day in Ghana. So 66 years ago, we started Rotary in Ghana.
Right.
Two, it is very important that we all see that we are eradicating polio because of the way people get paralyzed. Some lose their lives. And the fact that Rotary has taken it upon itself to ensure that we eradicate it completely is something we should all be happy about. Your children get immunized for free, and for as long as they are up to the age of 5, there is a chance that they can have the oral polio vaccine anytime.
Right. Doc, what is polio for the uninitiated? What is it?
Yeah, polio, for short, it's a viral infectious disease,
Right.
which affect mostly children, and it ends up with disability. And such debilitating disease calls for a lot of concern.
Right.
I'm sure there is no parent who wants to give birth to a child and then eventually discover that the child cannot use either his limbs or he cannot play with his colleagues because of the level of a disability which he acquired from a preventable disease.
Right. Now, let me ask you this. So today, for example, what's going to happen?
So today, together with Dr. Dankoli, we are here to talk about the gains in eradication of polio, how far we've come, and how far we can go, and ensure that everybody who has an infant up to the age of 5 should be concerned and have the child immunized.
Right. What's a success story?
So, Rotary initially got involved with this whole eradication in 1979.
Wow.
Rotarians in the Philippines applied to the Rotary Foundation, which is an ambit of Rotary International, for a grant to immunize about 6 million children in the Philippines.
Right.
This was a huge success. And in 1981, the directors of Rotary International discussed the matter, saw it necessary that yes, it can be done, engaged Dr. Sabine, who had then done the oral polio vaccine, and 1985, the business began. In 1988, having the World Health Organization, UNICEF, and some heads of states of some countries join Rotary, the Global Polio Eradication Initiative was formed, and Dr. Dankoli represents that. So he's a coordinator for the Polio Eradication Initiative in Ghana.
Right.
At that time, you had over 350,000 children in 125 countries being affected by the polio virus.
Right.
And through the initiation of the Polio Eradication Initiative, oral polio vaccines were given because there are 3 wild polio viruses. So there was a trivalent oral polio vaccine. In 1999, type 2 was gone, so we had bivalent, and now we have only type 1. So we have the monovalent, and we call it novel oral polio vaccine. And we are giving it out. Here in Ghana, the last wild polio virus case we had was in 2008. In 2011, we were certified as being free. And thankfully, in August 2020, all of Africa was certified free. That's why I have this T-shirt on.
Right.
So Africa.
It used to be kick polio out of Ghana.
We had kick polio out. That was the
T-shirt I wore.
So the late Nelson Mandela spoke to all heads of states to ensure that we kick polio out. And from kick polio out, we've moved to end polio now. We have keep polio at 0. So all of these slogans are being used to ensure that we get polio out, just like smallpox is no more. We can. And we're hoping by 2027 we can proudly say no more polio in the world.
Doc, let me come to you and ask you, how do people get polio? Is it a work of the devil?
Oh, yeah. So thank you for this very important question. I'm sure the listeners will also be interested to know how polio virus is being transmitted. Why I look at this question very important, because there are myths around this, and a lot of people tend to believe that, well, it's a spiritual disease, but it is not so. Polio virus is transmitted fecal-orally. What we mean is the virus that is passed through the stool, contaminate water or food, and then get into the mouth of a susceptible recipient, and then of course the virus multiplies within the tract of the person, and for some individual this same virus affects the nervous system, and therefore ends up with having some form of paralysis. So this is actually the transmission or the natural history of the infection caused by polio virus. It is a fecal-oral transmitted disease.
And for those who say that the vaccines that, Ketsi, Rotary, and others come together to say, we are coming to your schools, your homes, your churches to give their children. Some say it will plant something in the children to make them
impotent, fertile,
and all of that.
That is not true.
Doc, tell us, what is inside the vaccine that you give to the people? And can it do the things that people are saying it can?
First of all, we want to establish that there are two types of vaccines. We have the oral polio vaccines, which she talked about, Albert Sabin, who was the one who actually discovered that. But then we have the injectable one, what we call the IPV. It's the inactivated polio vaccine. And surprisingly, it was the first to be discovered, and this was by Jonas Salk. And the IPV is actually a killed vaccine. The oral polio vaccine is live attenuated vaccines. So these are important facts that we want our listeners out there to understand. And this vaccine is safe, is effective, and it does not cause the so-called problems or what people attribute it to cause, like the infertility. Many a times individuals feel that it is infuse into the vaccine a component that causes infertility. But we want to say it loud and clear here that no, the vaccine does not have any of those components. Either the live attenuated vaccines, which is actually a form of the virus, but it is the virulence of that particular virus has been knocked off. And so if we look at the principle which immunity is built within the system of an individual, once this antigen is introduced into the body system, it tends to provoke an antibody which helps to fight any disease that comes. So this is actually the principle behind the production of these vaccines. So it's either we administer the inactivated polio vaccines, which was discovered by Salk, or the oral polio vaccines, which was also discovered by Albert Sabin. And both vaccines are safe and good to prevent polio disease.
I see. Now, let me ask you this question. Where do you people get the money to do all these things that you do?
We get it from the communities we belong to. And also, as a Rotarian, we are encouraged to support the foundation. So we make donations. Right now, we have a Polio Plus fund. And we are asking everybody, you don't necessarily have to be a Rotarian. But once you've heard about this and you have the money, you can contribute $100 once a year, or you can do it $10 a month. So as Rotarians, we do that. We also have a contribution we make to the annual fund, and you can specify that I'm making this contribution
towards
Polio Plus eradication, and this is how much I want to. So Rotarians, we support the Rotary Foundation. And let me add this. In 2007, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation found out that we're doing a good job. So they decided, look, we'll support you. For every $1 a Rotarian contributes, we'll give $2.
Wow.
So we've set it out. The trustees of the foundation have put it out that let's try and raise $50 million every year. And immediately the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation matches it with $150 million.
Wow.
we're able to then give it to World Health Organization to help with the manufacturing of the oral polio vaccines, which we are giving out free.
I see. Now, as you celebrate 66 years of existence, of doing good work, what's the plan?
So we continue to support our communities. We have 7 areas of focus. Conflict resolution and peace, basic literacy and education, the environment, economic community development. We also have maternal, to reduce the death of mothers.
Maternal mortality.
Yes. So we are continuing to do all of this. We're providing potable drinking water. We're providing KVIP toilets here in Ghana, providing books for children to go to school. We are planting trees. So there's so many things. So it's endless. Doing good in the world is our motto. And so we'll continue to do good for as long as we know it is necessary.
Doc, you have the closing thought. What do you leave us with? Today's World Polio Day. You have given us the facts and the figures. But what else is there to say in wrapping up?
Poliomyelitis is real and can be prevented. We call on all parents and caregivers to ensure that their children receive the vaccines so that they don't come down with this disease. As we speak, we are responding to an isolated circulating variant poliovirus here in Ghana, in Eastern region, and that called for the current response we undertaking. We have concluded round 1 on the 20th, and the round 2 comes from 14 to 17 of November. So we are calling all caregivers and parents and love and well-wishers to ensure that their children are available to receive these vaccines. These vaccines are safe and effective. Thank you.
Dr. Dan Kohli, we're grateful for your time of the WHO, and Nanaya Astrup, always a delight to have you, madam. Grateful.
Thank you.
Past chair of the Ghana National Polio Plus Committee. We appreciate your time and your good works.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you very much for coming.